I think the time has come to just get in the van just the way it is. A bunch of stuff thrown in there. Just the time's come to maybe just to go somewhere in it and make do with it. I have to take the bounder somewhere first. How do I say this? The bounder developed a problem a while back on the way back up from Florida, and I just haven't spoke of it. I just wanted to just get it back up here and forget about it for a while. Well, it's getting to the point here I'm gonna have to address it. You know, it's only to where I can. Right now, I'm only comfortable keeping it kind of local on secondary roads, so only using it when necessary, like to go take care of the tanks. And that time has come, so I'm gonna, you know, run it out, and then I'm gonna come back and get the van. And I think it's just time to head out in it for a while, but get things figured out and better organized as we go. It's gonna be an ongoing project for a while, so I've figured that much out. So the bounder's limping right now, and what happened? Before anybody goes beating up on the transmission shop, because you know, down in Florida the transmission went out. I had the transmission rebuilt, and before anybody goes beating up on them, what's happening is the transmission is not shifting right. It's the kickdown. You know, when you put your foot on the gas to pass or go up a hill, it kicks down a gear. The kickdown is like, acts like it's oversensitive. It kicks down too easy, and there are some external components that affect the shifting too. So I'm not going to just say, oh, they did a bad job on a transmission. So I've looked at it a little bit and did some research. I've actually talked to the guys down at the transmission shop. You know, they're helping me walk me through maybe some things to check or how to diagnose it. But you know, the transmission's not slipping or anything, so the internals of the, like the clutches and everything, you know, all that's good. So it just doesn't, it's just not shifting right. So anyway, and those guys even told me up front before I decided to have them do the job about the warranty, that, you know, they're just a single local shop down there in Jacksonville, that, you know, they're not a chain store like AMCO that have different locations around the country, that, you know, if there's problems and I need warranty work, that I can just go to maybe one up here. You know, they're just a single, so they let me know that up front, that, you know, if I'm, and I know I travel, if I'm out across the country somewhere, they're not gonna be able to help me if I break down and I need so I knew that up front. Oh well. But I don't think it's anything real serious. The you know, I want to mention too, you know, you have that transmission rebuilt. Man, that was a crisis, a big major breakdown on the road. Some of you you know, pitched in on that repair. I won't forget that. That is still, I just, you know, the generosity is so appreciated. In with the towing, just thanks again on that note. So anyway, there's you know, the vacuum modulator that affects the shifting. There's a governor that affects the shifting. There's a kickdown switch that affects the shifting. You know, 2 of the 3 of those things are actually also related to what the engine's doing and the components on the engine. You know, whether there's enough vacuum or the vacuum line's leaking for the vacuum modulator. I checked that. That is okay, but the modulator itself is only like $14. So I might swap that out. I want to mention too, you know, this is also subject to those of you that know, that have followed like the Maverick project over on my other channel. What a time getting quality replacement parts. It's just a roll of the dice. It's hit or miss. And even if you do get a good one, how long is it going to last? So replacement parts these days are just a, it's a shame, really. There's a problem with quality control. Anyway, so that vacuum modulator, it may have failed. You know, it's a new one, so yeah, for 14 bucks, I'm probably gonna swap that out because the vacuum's good to it. I don't know about the governor. There's just a case with 4 bolts on it, a cover. It just comes off, and it should be operating freely and should all be intact and everything. But there's not a whole lot going on there. I can check that. Other than that, the kickdown switch itself, you know, there's a sensor up on the engine that can tell when you're really putting your foot on the pedal, and then there's on the other end that is inside the transmission. worst case, if that's what it is, I do have to drop the pan, and there's 2 bolts that hold it on. It's not real hard to replace. It's not terribly expensive, but dropping the pan, that's a pain in the butt, and you know, you gotta catch all the fluid. But so that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to plan, you know, one of these weekends coming up here to pull it in front of the garage where it's flat and a nice better surface to work on it, and get the bounder squared away. But that's what's been going on with the bounder, and I was just kind of in no mood to mess with it. I haven't been. I'm still not, for that matter, but I need to take care of that before Betty goes on any more big trips. Like I say, locally I can kind of nurse it along on the way it shifts and not be hard on it. So that's what we've done. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, we came out here. Crooked Creek is now, the campground is open last week or something finally, and we might get a spot here for a night and stay, or I don't know, I might just go put Betty back away and go get the van and come back, or go somewhere else. I don't know yet. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. How's that? But that's the story on the bounder. Right, what do you think, girl? So I have taken care of, dumped the waste tanks, the gray water, the black, and refilled the fresh water. So we're all set again for a while. I might just take it back down and park it, and we have some hot days coming here soon, and what I might do is park it back at the garage and put the shade back on the windshield to keep the sun out. And I actually have a window air conditioner, 5,000 BTU window air conditioner, that because it's just more energy efficient, that I put in this window whenever I'm parked for a while at the garage. Just instead of running the roof airs, they're kind of overkill. It's more than it needs, because if the garage just is like halfway or 3/4 of it is in the shade, so that little window unit, it gets the job done and uses less power. So I might just go and get it set up and just leave it sit there until I am ready to do the transmission on it. So what's Bella doing? What's Bella? Bella. You better watch out, little squirrel or something will jump out of that hole and get you. Huh? The squirrel might jump out of there. I'm sorry. Come on, ready? I feel bad. This way. Hey. This way. I don't know if you can see the lake down there through the trees. I don't know if you can hear they're mowing out here today, so a little bit of noise, but yeah, not too many people here. Guy up there in the handicap spot, that's the only place that has electric in that pop-up camper, and some people in a tent camping over that way, and there's another tent on way down at the other end. But this is always nice up here. I really like it. And yeah, so the rest of the spots don't have any hookups, and it's 15 bucks a night. So an Army Corps of Engineer facility. Bella. What do you think we should do, Bella? Maybe we need to spend some time in a van and get that thing organized. Oops, let me give you some privacy there. Okay, come on. We might do that. Really, the only way that van's gonna get further ahead, it seems, if I get it and get away from the garage, because I get distracted with other stuff. Like, I don't feel like messing with the van right now. I'll tinker with this or that, or I just need to get the bounder out, or the van out in the road a little bit, and have nothing else to do but it. Come on, let's go. see too if this guy down here that sells firewood, and the answer is yes. All right, he's still selling firewood again this year. $10 for a stack of firewood here. It looks like a pretty fair size stack. And there's a lockbox there. It's a, you know, on your honor system. Grab a stack or two and put whatever in the box. The other part about kind of putting this job off was, you know, I know each summer, you know, while I'm kind of back here at home base, I spend some time and I really go through, you know, see what maybe what's due to be looked at on the bounder again. I know it needs an oil change, no big deal, but maybe brake pads and you know, I always do this every year, is just give it a good going through. So I think I just kind of been putting it off until, you know, when I schedule a weekend or a week, you know, to really spend some time on it, I'll just take care of it then. So it's I need to get busy on that whole project. Back to the getting the bad parts thing in the Maverick project. You know, those that have watched that knows that I've gotten three different ignition distributors for it, and 3 out of 3 were bad. That I had to take parts from one and parts from another and make one good one. It's ridiculous. And another thing I haven't even told on that channel yet was about the stupid condenser that one I had didn't even have 100 miles on the car yet, and it failed. And through diagnosing it, I put a brand new one. It broke down right by O'Reilly Auto Parts store, and I'm going through everything, and it's a simple system, and what could it be? And I thought, maybe could it be, you know? So I put a brand new one in it, and it still didn't run. And I out of frustration, I just don't know, I'm stumped. I ended up getting a tow dolly and towing the Maverick back. It turns out that new one out of the box was bad, because I found an old one in the garage. I put in it, and voila, it fixed it. It's crazy trying to get quality replacement parts. It's just a shame what's happened to the industry. And so back to the bounder, you know, there's some components that were smaller components that were replaced, that modulator and that kickdown switch, that, you know, a lot of that parts are made in China now, or Mexico, or whatever, and Taiwan, and, you know, the quality, it just you know, one of those parts could have failed, and it's something I can fix myself. The guys out the transmission shop, Andy and Steve, said, you know, if you could somehow get the bounder here or ship the transmission, they would honor it and they would fix it. But, you know, like I said, I'm out of the area, and it's not feasible. I'll have to fix it myself, and I'll get through it. It's one of them things. It's hard to, what else can I say about it, really? I'm gonna go put the bounder away while we're out on a nice day, and she's cruising nice. We're gonna get her back and put her away, and I'll get to it. And in the meantime, the van's running fine. We can go out, and that's worry free. Knock on wood. So that's what we're doing. Let me see. Good news, bad news, good news, and good news. Okay. We did make it back. So that's, and And we're back in the shade here. We got the screen on there to keep the hot sun out of the windshield. That keeps it cooler. Got the awnings out. I have the little window air conditioner in here. It's running. So that's good news. Betty can just sit here and act as my apartment on wheels. That leave it at that. The bad news is, no, it's not the bumper. The bad news is I forgot about that, you know, junky spare that's in it. But the good news is the winch. There's a crank in the back here that you put a handle in there and you crank it and it lowers it down out, then vice versa to put it away. That whole mechanism, the winch and the crank and all that stuff, it worked nice and smooth and fully functional. You know, they get rusty and they and then they don't work at all. They get all locked up. It's up in there somewhere. And yeah, those can get real rusty and start falling apart. And then the spare tire could actually fall down out of the back. You ever been going down a highway and see somebody's spare hanging under here kind of swinging? And well, because it's starting to, something's giving. It ain't right. But anyway, that's mechanism and cable is all in good shape. So that's good news. The other good news is, or wait, there's a here, we'll include this with, is this the bad news? Yeah, that I'd forgot about this. You know, and I don't mind if a wheel is like, you know, maybe a little bit rusty somewhere, but when it gets to a point where it's starting to flake off and yeah, when it starts bubbling and flaking off, you know what, I don't like messing with stuff like that. And down in these seams where the inner and outers join together, they're yeah, when it gets all bubbly like that, it's pitted and flaking, you know what, I'm just done with that wheel. So I just ordered another one. It'll be here tomorrow, and actually it'll be at AutoZone tomorrow. So they have brand new ones from Dorman, but they're out of stock and they have no idea. And I checked a couple different websites, no idea when those ones from Dorman will be available again. They have reconditioned ones, which I guess I'm good with. Hopefully they reconditioned it before it got to this point. But it'll be all, you know what, they have better equipment than reconditioned ones. I could do it, but I have a tiny sandblaster, and you know what, those will have been sandblasted and treated and repainted, all fresh and ready to go. And actually it wasn't too bad. You know, there's like $84.99 for a brand new or reconditioned wheel. You know what, I'm good with that. That's not that's reasonable. And there is something really wrong with this tire, because well, I can tell it's obviously it's a used tire. It has a weird wear pattern to it, but I don't know if you can see it. It kind of goes, it's just weird. Something ain't right here. But what's wrong with this thing is the balance weights on it. I mean, there are three, what are those, 2.75 ounces. They're all about the same here. Three, almost 9 ounces over on one side of the wheel. Usually it might take one weight, and there's something wrong. That much weight was needed on one side. This must have a broken belt, maybe on the opposing side. Something's going on over here. And then there's another one on the other side, kind of in the same, you know, there's something. No tire should be that far out of balance. So the questionable wheel, definitely a questionable tire. I'm not going to run it. Reconditioned wheel, gonna put a brand new tire on it when it gets here. We'll get it back up in the van, and that's that. So did I get that right? It was the good news, it's back. The bad news is I forgot about the thing, and the good news was that's new. I don't remember. Must have forgot something maybe. There was supposed to be one more good news thing, I think. Maybe the good news was that this came down freely and I got that ordered and under control. It's yeah, I think that's it. All right, let's go back over here a second. All right, I'm tired of looking at it. I know some of you are tired of looking at it. Says, you know what? Just spray it. Just spray that bumper and be done. But you know, I hate to do things twice. You know, this bumper's not just all steel. You know, it has these plastic pads on it. You know, ideally, I'd pop these off. I think you got to do it. Release the little tabs from the underside. You know, without trying to pry it off and ruining them. But I'd like to clean these up. And well, let me back up. The trouble is rust gets underneath them too. So, you know, if I just clean this all up here and maybe tape those off, I mean, still, how do you treat, you know, that rust is going to creep back out over time, and maybe no time they'll look like, you know what, again. So, and it's the heavy duty bumper. It's to take it off. It's like a two-man job. It is. It's thick. It's heavy duty. The bumper itself is rated at, you know, what most tow hitches are. You know, it's rated at 500-pound tongue weight and 5,000-pound pull. So it's a heavy duty bumper. It's not like one of them little chrome bumpers on the passenger vans. Yeah, I'm not gonna wrestle this thing down and pop this on. You know, I don't know. I hate to do things twice. I might make an exception here and just clean these. It's got overspray on it from it being sprayed before. Maybe I'll clean these up, tape them off, you know, just wire wheel this up as best I can and spray it. But you know, how long is that gonna last? You know, 6 months or a year, all that rust is gonna be creeping out again, and I don't know. So maybe I'll get to it, just do a temporary job on it. Yes, I know. I have just stuff just thrown in here. I know it. I know. Where'd you go? Bella, Bella. Bella, Bella. She says, I am ready to go. Well, due to the spare tire thing, we're still not going to get out of here today. It's going to be in tomorrow. I can just pick it up, run it down to the tire shop, get a tire put on it, put it back up in, and then we're covered to, I don't know. It's always something. But I'm dying to get out and take a break from all this messing around with stuff. I just want to get out and about. So, we're getting close. Thanks for coming along today. We'll be back soon. Hopefully out of here. Some sort of adventure park, or I don't know. We'll be back. I'll see you.